We're back on the People Chronicles with L.T. James, and we ended with listening for that voice of your deceased mother, who was such an impact in your life while she was here. And as you continue to get older, you just become more and more adventurous. And we're going to find out some of those adventures that were left out in the first part. But also, I can almost feel your mom's presence here and how happy she is knowing that you're doing this, not just for you, but for her. So what do you think it is that she wants people to know?
I believe my mom would encourage any young woman to just follow their dreams and be as courageous as possible. Never say no to an opportunity to learn something and to grow as a woman, as a human being, and just use all of your creative abilities to just make your life the best it can be.
What are some of the things that you enjoy volunteering with, or that you have previously?
Well, besides loving and having a passion for the Pagoda Writers Group up at the Pagoda every month, I volunteer with the Youth Aid Panel with the Juvenile Probation Department every month, and we help young people who have been in scrapes, for lack of a better word, to get on the right track. And I think we've had great success with that program. So I'm very proud to be a part of that.
And I'm sure that they see the adventurous side of you. When we talked about your hiking, so we were climbing a little bit, and let's talk about water and being on a boat. That's very exciting.
Well, towards the end of my 6-month journey, when I was volunteering in the Lake District of England at the YMCA Center, it's an outdoor pursuits activity center, I realized one day I would have to go home. I had only bought a one-way ticket to England, and I thought, okay, now how am I going to earn the money to get home, because it was a volunteer job. They only gave us £7 a week, and that was spent at the pub every week. So anyway, so I hitchhiked up to Scotland, and I wanted...
You are adventurous. Now we're hitchhiking. You can't do that now. You know that, right?
No, I don't know that, and I would do it again in a heartbeat. You want to go with me, Jackie?
I don't know. Maybe.
We'd have so much fun.
I'm sure we would.
But so I actually hitchhiked around the Lake District all 6 months just to see things and meet people and look at the beautiful, beautiful scenery. But anyway, I hitchhiked up to Scotland. And one of the people that gave me a lift was a man who owned a 25-foot sailboat docked at the port of Edinburgh on the Firth of Forth. It's the waterway that comes in from the North Atlantic into the Scottish area there, for lack of knowing exactly what I'm talking about. But I knew where I was, and he had this crazy idea to sail to the United States from Scotland.
And you said, oh, okay, yeah, let's see what's next.
Well, it would be a way home and very inexpensive. But after spending a week on this little 25-foot sailboat with him, I realized he wasn't the greatest sailor in the world. And one night we were out on this huge body of water in a major storm. And he was down in the cabin looking at charts, I think. I don't remember, because I was sitting at the tiller because the engine was coughing and spurting. The compass had broke, and I had turned it around away from the North Atlantic, and I was heading back towards what I hoped was the port of Edinburgh, where we would be able to dock. And these waves were crashing over the bow, and I was sitting there freezing because it was so cold. It was in September, and I realized if all I could remember was my mom, my aunt, my brothers, my dog, just wondering if they would ever know what would happen to me, if the wave would crash over the boat and just sink us. And I just prayed. I just sat there and prayed, and all my life kind of just flowed before my eyes. And I said, please, God, let me get home safely. I don't want my mom to be worried about me and never know what happened to me. So all of a sudden I saw the lights of the port, the dock, and I just steered towards it. And thank God we made it into port. And the next morning, I packed my backpack and I said, I'll see you later. And he goes, you're not going with me to the United States? I said, a snowball's chance in hell. I will never go with you. He said, well, I'm going. So as far as I know, I don't know what happened to him. He may be in Davy Jones' locker for all I know. But I stepped off the boat and went to the nearest Scottish church and sat in that church, and thank God I was on dry land. And the pastor came up to me and said, would you like to tell me your story? And I told him. He goes, Lassie, you can come back here anytime you want. So one day I'm going to go back to that Scottish church and thank him for allowing me to come and sit in his church and just pray and thank God.
That is a beautiful story of bravery, and we thank you for sharing that with us. And I know that, when you have to go back and pull in all of those memories and what you went through, sometimes that's when people take life for granted, and you go back and realize what you've gone through. And it's amazing. You're such a strong person.
Thank you.
Aside from that, you're very adventurous, like I said. And obviously that would have been anyone's fear, to be out there on the water. That would be one of my biggest fears. But you don't really seem to have anything holding you back. And I find that very interesting. For everything that you have gone through and all the things that you have done, you still continue to get out there and continue doing your thing. Do you have any fears?
I don't really. I mean, after everything I've been through, I pretty much scared myself to death. I'm not afraid of anything, really. I figure if I survived what I survived, what is there to be worried about? I just live every day the best I can and try to be happy with every moment. And the people I meet have just been amazing. I think I'm just so blessed to have the people in my life that are in my life right now. And I know people come and go, but the ones that are there right now have been so great that I just love them to death. And having a voice like today is so important for everybody to have a voice. And I would encourage them to write down their feelings. Things become more real when you write it down. And it takes you on a journey. It takes you to some place where your creative abilities are more poignant for you, and you can dig up things that you never wanted really to talk about. There's a saying, write what you know about, but I also say, write what you don't want people to know about. The secrets that we're keeping sometimes hold us back. So tell your story in your own writing, and don't be afraid to come to a group like the Pagoda Writers. Share your thoughts and your stories. You can be quiet. You don't have to say a word, but come and listen. Listening is such it's becoming a lost art. There's so many things out there that are taking our time, and a lot of nonsense on television that isn't even worth talking about.
Now tell me a little more about Pagoda Writers. Now that you piqued my interest, anyone can come at any time to any one of the meetings, and what exactly happens there? How long do they last, and where are they?
We meet at the Pagoda every first Saturday of the month from 1 to 3. It's open to everybody. There's no charge, although I do encourage people to leave a donation in the donation box for the Pagoda. As most of you know, it does need some maintenance and upkeep. It needs a foundation repair in the masonry and the stonework. But what we're all about is encouraging writers. And anybody that even has an idea of, maybe I could write this down, don't be afraid to come. Fear holds people back. And I don't want you to ever hesitate. If you want to call me or email me or just show up, we meet from 1 to 3 every first Saturday. Check out our website at pagodawriters.com or the link on the Reading Pagoda website, and you'll be able to contact me and just come and have a great time with us. Our mission is to inspire creativity, and we encourage everybody to come and share.
And I have a final question for younger people out there that are interested in, using their creativity with a pen and paper. Do they show up with their writings? Do they come to you for ideas and ask you, how can I, have this book published? Do you have the answers there for the people that come to these meetings?
I think we have a lot of answers, and I like people to come with questions too. So bring your paper and pens, not pencils, because pencils can be erased. I encourage people to bring pens because you can't erase something you've written, and I want you to remember what you write and keep it forever, and do something with it. And it's just such a great group. I can't tell you how blessed I am to know the people that come every month and share their stories with us. And if you're feeling lonely out there, there's a quote by Eugene O'Neill, a playwright. I think man's loneliness is his greatest, is fear of life. Man's loneliness is his fear of life. So don't be afraid of living. You'll never be lonely if you get out there and meet people. When I traveled through Europe, I was by myself most of the time, and the greatest people gave me a lift as I was hitchhiking through England and Europe, and they were amazed. They wanted to hear more about America, about the women in America, and they made assumptions about me sometimes, and I cleared that up real quick because I was a woman alone hitchhiking on major highways, and there was some danger, but I overcame that, and the majority of the people that I met were very supportive. I can't tell you how many people gave me a place to stay or gave me a lift. I guess I talked so much and listened to them that even though they weren't going where I needed to go, they took me right to my door. And I wonder sometimes if they realized I wasn't trying to get them to take me to the door. It was so fascinating a journey for me. And I would do it again in a heartbeat, and I hope to one day.
We truly appreciate your energy and sharing your story with us. L.T. James, thank you so very much. And
welcome.
Once again, is there a phone number that they can contact you that you'd like to share?
Sure. My number is 610-413-0373. It's a cell phone, and you can call me anytime and ask questions about the Pagoda Writers Group. Thank you very much, Jackie.
All right. We encourage everyone to pick up a pen and journal because you can save that. It'll be there forever. And journaling is also good therapy from what I understand.
I believe it is.
All right. These are the People Chronicles. I'm Jackie Hoffman with L.T. James.